so excited to see you guys. Some of our crew was at a retreat this weekend, which is super cool. I was in Austin this weekend with the Kristen Voss. I don't know if you guys know her with social selling, but I'm in her 6 and 7 income mastermind. And we kicked it off this past week in Austin. You will be hearing about that throughout the months to come.
Yeah.
I will be pouring that into you, but I was poured into this weekend. And honestly, yesterday, I was still in full numbness. And today, I've been able to make sentences. But it was incredible, but it was drinking out of a fire hydrant, to be honest. But our team is going to benefit. So I'm really thrilled about the things that I'm going to learn. I hope that you are always investing in yourself. I've shared with several of you, you know, through the 7.5 years, I've invested in different ways. In the beginning, it was books and YouTube, of listening to all the incredible leaders before me. And then it moved, you know, from there into doing different types of accountability calls with other people that I was accountable to. And then it moved into getting into groups and Bob Heilig and living that world. And then it moved into, you know, really putting down some pretty big investments. And so I feel like when any of us as leaders level up and we invest, it only allows our team to level up with us. And so the investment that I put in, I feel like is going to be an incredible, there we go. Let's see if everyone can mute. I'm trying to mute, but it looks like I have to ask. There we go. Okay. But anyway, it's just going to level all of us up. And I always want you to think about that whenever you're thinking about different ways of investing. You're totally investing in yourself, but the investment that you're leveling your entire organization up because of that, because you turn around, you change, but you also, your training changes in the way that you pour out into them, and it brings everyone up a level. Does that make sense? I love everyone on this call because just being in space like this brings all of us up. The energy of that brings everybody up. And I want you to always know that. That's why I'm always saying, and I'm not calling anybody out, but that's why I always say, have your video on. Unless you're sitting on the toilet or taking a shower, have your video on. Because seeing people's faces, seeing the energy, seeing the posture, it brings everybody up, right? And that's always important to be able to do that. So this is how we're going to get started. First and foremost, we have a really packed night, and I'm super excited. We're going to be hearing from a special person. I'm trying to find her face. I'm sure she's here. There she is. But first, I want to hear from you. So I want you to put into the chat. I want you to share what you're proud of. It could be personally, it can be in your business, but I want you to share a celebration with us. What is it that you're proud of? What is something that you want to celebrate? And let us celebrate with you. So share those things with me real quick. Let's all hear that. I'm going to pull up my chats. Jessica, you're funny. I'm worn out now. Jessica, I did your workout for you. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm sure you're typing, but where are my celebrations? My team ranked up. April Matthews, we're going to be talking about that here in just a minute. She had some major, I would say, I want to hear a celebration from you, April, from Broken Bow. What are you celebrating that you learned there that you're proud of yourself? It's what are you proud of, right? Have a gallon of water a day for 2 days now. Jessica, that's pretty huge. That's a really big deal. Jody, okay, Jody, I need to know if that's number 3 for you. I have a feeling you're going to be going to the diamond dinner. You can tell me in the chat. Oh, yes, okay. It looks like you are, girl. Overcame a big mindset for Chris. That's a really big deal. Sherri, of course, is going to be highly celebrated. The blessing release of a critic and a skeptic. Michelle, Michelle, that's a big, big learning, isn't it? It's a learning to release and to realize that we can't talk people out of if they are a skeptic. We can share with love and we can tell them how it may be incorrect in their thinking, but we cannot make those changes. And to release that brings back so much energy because it's draining to live in that space. So I'm very, very proud of you. Kim, I'm so glad that you are on the call. Went silver. I'm so proud of you. Kim Fultz, proud of my 2 February ambassadors, very proud, pouring into. Make sure we've got all of us muted. There we go. Intermittent fasting. Excellent, Michelle. Activity on our team, Cindy Krevling, officially gold. We're going to be talking about that. I'm so excited. Held my rank. Dawn, that's a big, big deal. That means that you're really learning retention and customer care. So that's huge. Laura, I'm so glad you're on. I talked with an employee at the grocery store that I see all the time, shared Plexus and sending him samples. Good for you. You got out there. Y'all, that is awesome. This is so fun. Oh, that's okay, Desiree. That is okay. We all are cray-cray. New level 3, Marley. That's big. So you are tap rooting. You're getting to know those people. That's excellent. Okay. Y'all, this is so much fun. Okay, so that is the first. This is what I want you to know is I always want you to be celebrating. I want you to always be seeing the good in your life and what you are overcoming, and I want you to be proud of yourself. There are days that we just need to sit back and say, you know what? I have accomplished a lot, and I am proud of what I've accomplished. And just even saying that right now, this weekend, there was a really big aha for me whenever I was with Kristen. I have always downplayed what I've accomplished. I've always made it an excuse for it. And as we sat there, I excused a lot of stuff this weekend that I didn't realize. I was like, oh, you know, Kristen, because we got major coaching, like overwhelming coaching. And at break, I was like, kind of said, I just need some help in this space. She was like, okay, we'll coach you now. Oh no, like coach everybody else. Like, but I just want you to know that I need that. And we ended up coaching me, thank goodness. But we do that. And at some point, so what I'm saying is, as I worked through stuff, the realization of what I have accomplished in my life and who I am, that's to be celebrated. And I think it was my first time to sit back and go, that's a celebration. And so we need to do it every day. And this is what I want you to hear is not only what is it that you're celebrating, but the days that you're like, it's just not going good. Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this, or that conversation was really hard. I want you to go back and remember your celebrations. It's kind of like keeping that gratitude journal. But there are times that you need to pause and you need to say, wait a second, like there's something good that I've done here. There's something good that I have accomplished, and I'm not going to just brush over it, right? And so make sure, guys, mindset is everything. Energy is everything. And we so often just keep plowing, keep going. What's my next task? That didn't work. Where do I need to go? And there are times that we really, truly need to pause and say, I've done a pretty good job. I did some hard stuff today. I'm proud of myself. I overcame something. I acknowledged something. I released a skeptic. These are good things. I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm getting better, right? So make sure that you're celebrating. Okay, next thing that I want to know is I want to hear some more shout outs. We heard some of them here, but I want to hear the shout outs. Who added a customer? If you added a customer, put 1 in the chat. If you added an ambassador this month, put a 2 in the chat. So share and give some shout outs on that. And as you're doing that, let me see, I want to keep seeing all this. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Lisa, good job, Lisa. Chris, Kim, Sherri, Dory. I mean, y'all, this is so good. Kim, of course you did. Kim, Marley, this is so good. Okay, guys, I want to give these huge shout outs. I mean, we have Sheila Jackson went gold. Okay, April had 2 people on her team, Sheila Jackson and Jenny Russell, senior silver and gold. Those are humongous, huge accomplishments, and they're pretty new, right? April, April. They're pretty new.
Yeah, Jenny's fast start.
Okay. Yeah. That's incredible. So they're
mother-daughter too.
That's so cool. I just met, okay, can I just share this real quick? I did not meet them, that's a lie. I was just introduced to a mother-daughter that is on Alita Langford's team. The 3 of them went diamond last May. Mother, daughter, and Alita all in 1 month. But how cool, mother, daughter, to go all the way to diamond like that. So that's kind of cool to see what Jenny and Sheila are going to do and how they partner. Really, really cool. D'Angelo Brooks, who is under Lindsay, he went silver this month or this past month. So that's super. And that's it, guys. We have a guy that's gone silver. I'm super excited about that. Kimberly Brose is senior silver. Ryan, who's under Julie Harbor. I don't know if Julie is on here. He is a big shout out for silver. And I don't know if it's a he or a she. Sorry about that. Cindy is on here. Cindy is officially gold. Where is her little face? I don't see her name anymore, but I know she's here. But y'all, that's a really, really, really big deal for her. Kim Dummer, we talked about her. She's silver. I'm very proud of you, Kim. And then the really big get up and go one is none other than our own Sherri Eyer, who went senior Ruby. Okay, hands up, everybody. We're so proud of you. Super, super, super proud. We're going to be hearing from her tonight because she has some incredible things to say. So I'm proud of you. The things that I want you to really think about as we celebrate these things and the importance of that celebration, I feel like that our community is so strong on celebrating and celebrating well. And y'all do so much of sidelines and conversations and messages. It's so good. But this is what I want you to hear more than anything. Every one of these people that we celebrated with new customers, with new ambassadors, with promotions, it all boils down to consistency. It all boils down to showing up, to being trained and inspired, to inviting people to join you daily, to adding value, to customer care. We saw that, you know, Dawn is like, I held rank. Y'all, holding rank is significant in regards to highlighting customer care. It's a huge highlight. And it takes time. It takes energy. It takes love. It takes teaching, inspiring, troubleshooting. And so those things are really, really big. But the thing that I want you to hear about more is in regards to showing up. Because some of us on this call tonight, like, you weren't able to put something in the comments, and that's okay. Because we go through seasons, we're always planting, we're always harvesting. It is a process that we go through. But then others aren't able to put into the comments because they fell off, right? They fell off track. They got into somebody else's lane. They fell off the back of the truck, and they're getting back on. And I really want you to hear this about showing up and trying to figure out how to show up and what that looks like and how to get going again. Or you feel exhausted because February was a hard push. And here we are on March 2nd, moving into the 3rd. And you're like, how do I show up tomorrow, right? Like, how do I get going? But if you've lost that belief, you know, if that belief is gone, it's very hard to show up. You have to pour in that belief. So if you've lost that, it's probably the reason why you're not showing up. So if you're sitting here and going, man, that was inspiring to see all of that. I've got to start getting consistent. I have to start showing up. I really want you to do a self-check just a heart check, just a quick evaluation on, have I lost my beliefs? Have I, between a 1 and a 10, how would I rate myself? 10, I am literally all in. I'm giddy to wake up in the mornings. I believe in this opportunity so greatly. I believe that I'm called to this. I am all the way to the top. Or are you a 1, which is, man, I wake up in the morning, I don't even think about this opportunity. And in fact, I don't think about it until I start scrolling on Facebook and I realize, oh my Lanta, people are posting in my team page that I didn't even think about my team page. Where are you? Kind of do a self-check between 1 and 10. You don't have to share. Oh, I love that you're sharing, but you don't have to. Our 10s are sharing. And I love that you're putting 10. But if you are a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I want you to ask yourself, what is one thing I can do that I can write down, that I can start tomorrow morning or tonight before I go to bed? What is one thing that can start moving me to the next level? What is one thing that can help my belief? This being on calls, guys, is everything of helping belief, helping community, feeling like that you're not isolated, diamond documentaries, getting on YouTube and listening to some of our leaders train. That's a huge belief piece. Listening to certain podcasts, you know, that are out there. Abby Kappa has a great one. Brooke Knitz has a great one. Kristen Boss has a fantastic one. I love even others. I love Glambition. Don't like the name, but I love Glambition. It is very high level women CEO entrepreneurs in its interview style of how they got where they are. That inspires me. So that's one that I just love whenever I'm like, I just want some conversation. What is it that will build that belief in you to get you moving forward and say, what's something I can start doing now to move to the next level? And for the, oh, Sherri, the 11. Okay, today, y'all, I have 2 coaches right now. I do not recommend it, but I was with one of them today. And every time she asked me to rate, so I do Brendan Burchard's high performance coaching. And every time I rate myself at an 8 or a 9. And because I always think I can improve. And she said today, when are you going to own 10? I think you're at 10. When are you going to actually own it? Why do you always sell yourself short? So seeing people literally say, without a doubt, I am a 10. I hope in the areas where there is some struggle, and it could be so many things, we won't go into those, but we will be going into them as the months go. I hope that when you are a 10, that you own it. I'm learning to own. It's weird that I haven't owned for a long time. So I'm proud of you guys for putting that. That's huge. Okay. So let's move. I'm going to talk about one other thing real quick, and then we are moving to our spotlight tonight. But I want to talk, and I'm going to move quickly. I hope you take notes. I want to talk about how to optimize your business. And we will start fleshing some of these things out. And I've got some really cool announcements to talk to you about at the end of this. But how to optimize your business. There's 3 areas that I want you to think about. The first is getting healthy. And health, whenever I speak of health, I'm talking spiritual, mental, and physical. I want you to look at the whole body health, the holistic health of yourself. If you want to optimize your business, you have to optimize your life. You have to optimize yourself personally. And one of the biggest areas of high performance, of being at your very, very best, is your spiritual, your mental, and your physical. So I want you to rate yourself. I want you to think about, where are you spiritually? You know that I am in love with Jesus, but that's not everyone, and I don't ever want to push that. But we are spiritual beings, and there is a spiritual side to you. And so I want you to think about where you are and if you're healthy in that space. For me, that would possibly be, your prayer life. It would be journaling. A lot of people really enjoy journaling and praying with a like journal prayer. It might be opening up that Bible. There's so many incredible apps. I have a young girl that I discipled all through her college, and she's about to get married. And she messaged me literally today and said, Melissa, I want you to know that I'm spending 30 minutes a day. It's my Lent that I've kind of said, I'm going to focus here. And she uses the Abide app. And I thought that was so cool because, 3 years ago when we were working together, Abide is great. Your Holy Bible app is an excellent one. It's got stories in there. So kind of like doing stories of Instagram where you flip through. Literally, the Bible app now has that at the very top, and it says story. And you click on it and it goes through scripture, and then it moves into video, and then it moves into application, just like kind of like an Instagram story. Super cool. So where is that on a 1 to 10, and what can you do to bring yourself up a level? The second thing is mental. You got to capture those thoughts. And it's so important. We know that it's important biblically. It's important scientifically, because our feelings follow our thoughts. What you think becomes a feeling. And if you don't capture those thoughts, most of the times you are living within lies that aren't even yours. They're not serving you. They're not true. So you have to capture your thoughts, because your feelings follow that. But guys, your body follows that. It's just fascinating to me how it's all tied together. It is truly holistic. It is whole body. It's scriptural that way. God calling us to love him with all of our heart, with all of our mind, with all of our strength. There is purpose in that. There is reason for that. And so when you are wanting to live optimally in your life, in your business, you've got to have those areas. And then that third one is that physical. I want you to think about sleep. I mean, high performers sleep between 8 and 9 hours a night. So at least minimum 7 to 8. And I really want you to start looking at that. I want you to start questioning yourself, because if you will do that, scientifically, it proves that your day is better whenever you do that with your night. A lot of people are like, I just burn the candle at both ends and it's just my personality. But I want you to think about what you want to do with your business, what you want to do with your future, what you want to do with your family. And is it worth getting to a place where you're optimal in those areas? And if so, then you would sacrifice burning the candle at both ends for the livelihood of your health and your future, right? So think about those things. Movement, walking, getting up and stretching. I'm getting myself into a place where literally every 50 minutes I have alarms. My freaking phone goes off all the time, but setting it to where I do not sit more than 50 minutes. I stand up, I stretch for a few minutes. I do deep breathing. I go get water. I move and reset and transition. So those things are so important for you to be doing. And then how are you fueling your body? What are you putting into it? What types of carbs, sugars, white starches? How are you fueling yourself for your best ability to live optimally? So those are areas. Number one is to get healthy. And I want you to understand, whenever we talk about that whole mental side and capturing your thoughts, you choose your thoughts. You choose your thoughts. And you have that ability. And so instead of being like, I'm so overwhelmed right now, like I want to be at a 10 with everyone else and I'm just overwhelmed, I don't want to start, I don't know where to start. Or peace. Man, I'm just excited that I'm being inspired on here today. And I'm really excited because I know if I will put a little bit of time into this, I can get my business going again. You get to choose which one you're going to sit in, right? And so know the power of that and really think through that and say, is this thought serving me? We've talked so much about the model. We'll continue to do that. Circumstance, thought, feeling, action, result. There is an unintentional thought within a circumstance, and you've got to start learning how to make it intentional, right? You have to flip the script. So if you're not doing that, we have training on the Passionate Pursuit page. We will continue working that. If you work with me in any way, accountability or coaching, you hear me talk about it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please ask. It is the greatest way for you to live optimally and not live in a space that literally will drain you and lose energy. Second thing is get intentional. So if you want to have and optimize your business and your life, you've got to get intentional. And I work through this a lot with the people that I coach, but that is your priorities and goals. I want you right now to write down one priority for March. One. What is one priority for your business and one priority personally? What is the one major priority that you're going to focus on in March? Get that written down and have it in front of you. And then I want you to ask yourself, what do I need to accomplish that? If that is my goal, what do I need to accomplish that? What can I do personally? What do I need to maybe ask for help for? What do I need to get my team to work with me on? But what are those? You need to list them out. Whenever it comes to your personal side, is it more family time? Is it maybe you getting healthy? I want you to ask yourself, whatever that priority was, what is it going to take for me to accomplish that in March? So I want you to think through that. The next thing is I want you to time block. You have to time block your priorities. You always write down your non-essentials. Like you write down what is non-negotiable is the word I meant to use there. Your schedule, if you work full time, if you're homeschooling your kids, if they've got activities, if you have doctor's appointments, those go on your calendar first every time. And then outside of that, you're going to say, where is the space that I can work on my personal goal and my business goal? And you're going to time block that, okay? One of the biggest things that I have done every single day is brain dump. So as soon as I sit down, a lot of times you know how sometimes you wake up with that anxiety if there's too much and your brain's kind of like, I've got 10 things to do and I feel like they're all due right now and all this is going on in my life. I literally will brain dump. Here's one of mine from just this week and I had to break it all the way down. But I'll put it all down: personal, professional, business, what I'm responsible for, things that I said yes to that now I can't do, things that I need to do for my business, like learning freaking reels, right? Hello. All those things, but you put them all down and then you brain dump, okay? You get it all down and then you say, what is truly priority today? Like, what can I literally kind of put on the back burner and what is high focus? Knowing what your priority is for the month, right? Because your priority for the month, if you're not making a priority every day of doing one or two tasks towards it, it's not going to get met. So that's your baseline of, does this go in my day or does it not go in my day? Is this going to help my goal? Is it not going to help my goal? But when you brain dump, a lot of times you can delete the thought, you can delegate the thought, or you can be responsible for it. And when you brain dump, you're able to put them into the categories, right? So prioritize. You've got your family one or your personal one and your business one that is your main goal. You've asked yourself what you need to do to accomplish that goal. You're going to start brain dumping and getting really intentional. Sometimes I will brain dump halfway through my day. So I've gotten through my day, because my major intentionality happens in the morning for me. And then I brain dump to reset if I need to reprioritize with whatever time I have left. Does that make sense? Okay, so make sure doing that. And then bottom line, if you want to optimize your business, is do the work. You wrote down your priorities. You told yourself what you need to do to accomplish it. And you're going to do the work and you're going to set boundaries to protect it. You put do not disturb on your phone and you put your favorites of your family that can come through that do not disturb phone so that you get the most important people if they need to get a hold of you, but nobody else does. You don't open up emails until at least noon because that would sabotage your entire priority of what you're doing that day. You don't go to messages in Facebook because it makes you reactive. So you don't do it until you've done your work. Do your work. I schedule when I open emails. I schedule when I look at messages, right? If you want to live optimally and you want your business to be the best that it can be, you have to get rid of distractions. My phone has nothing on it. I don't let notifications come through. Messenger does not come through. Text only come through if I have my do not disturb off. I literally make sure that I protect and I have my boundaries so that I can complete my goals and my priority and take care of my team. That's just what we do, right? Then the third thing is see your wins daily. We kind of started off with that tonight on seeing those wins daily. I want you to celebrate. I want you to celebrate today. Like right now, I want you to think about your day. What is something that you're proud of today? It might be getting on this call tonight, like that you actually were able to get on. It might be that you had dinner with your family and you're proud of that. I want you to write that down. It might be that you got up early because you're trying to get up earlier in the mornings, or that you worked out, or that you ate really good food today, not junk. What are you proud of? Maybe you troubleshot something with a client. What are you proud of? And then I want you to evaluate at the end of your days. Whenever you see those wins, I want you to say, did I do my very best today? Could I, not to beat yourself up, but leaders always are self-evaluators and they know how to pivot. And you've got to start learning how to do that. You've got to be able to say, I was great today and this is how I celebrated, but there's some areas that I really need to pivot. I really need to tighten up my boundaries, or I really, really, really need to get out of my comfort zone and do my reach out. Or I think if I would work a little bit on content, that I'd really be able to impact some lives just with my content. Evaluate that and get it into your next day of the priorities of making those pivots and those adjustments. And then, I just think it's always good to have that gratitude journal. So just the gratitude, kind of like what we're talking about, of what's been good. If you will literally start putting very small baby steps, and whenever you rate yourself in a beautiful, loving, gracious way, and saying, how can I get to the next level? You'll optimize. You'll optimize in every area of your life, okay? All right, I hope that was good. If it was good, will you put something in the comments and say, I needed to hear that tonight? That would be awesome. We are going to hand it over to our beautiful Sherri, our newest senior Ruby. I've lost her again. Where is her face? Oh, there she is. You keep moving on me, child. It's like you're going over into hiding. Okay, I'm going to hand it over because, well, number one, she's freaking senior Ruby. Amen. And number two, I have had the privilege to watch her, not just a little, but a lot, over a lot of months. I have had the blessing to get to work with her and to troubleshoot with her and to see her in stress points and see her in peace points and see how she levels out the playing field all the time. I've seen her prioritize and regroup and pivot. I've seen her positive posture at all times. And so I wanted her to come and share a little bit of what she's learned. She's got some really cool things that talking about evaluating yourself and saying, what's one thing that I can do to level up? She's been a queen at that. And so, Sherri, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I want you to share a little bit with us.
Okay. Thank you, Melissa. When you talk about having to go get coached, that, I look to you and I'm thinking like she has reached the top. And when I hear you're going to get coached, it's like, it's just such a lesson for us to know that we have so much to learn. We have so much that we still can attain. And you're a beautiful example to us. And I thank you for all that you do for us. Oh boy, where do I start? So I think the first thing that I needed to work on this time was focus. Technically, I should have hit, according to my game plan, I should have hit Senior Ruby a couple months ago, and nothing was coming together. And just when I would think that, I had it, I'd go to bed and there'd be like, okay, I only need 18 more people and we've got this. And so then I would wake up and then it was like people pushed their subs ahead and now I need 21. And it was like every day I felt like I was going 2 steps ahead and 3 steps back. And it was just getting really discouraging. And one day, you know, I woke up and realized that I needed 9 at one point. And I looked and 30 people had moved their subs ahead. And so now I needed 39. And it was like, I was getting so discouraged and I was just getting so just wore out. I just felt like I wasn't going anywhere. And so I started to have a little pity party and, you know, just trying to wallow in my problem of it all. And there just came a point where I thought, okay, you know, it's time to go pray. And we have a prayer bench in our bedroom. And so I went back on the prayer bench, and normally I kneel before it, but this time I just laid my whole body on it. And I'm like, Jesus, I need help right now, because if I am in this, because I'm supposed to be in it, then something's got to change, because I am so discouraged. And I just felt like I was spinning my wheels. And a couple times before, I kind of challenged God. I'm like, God, if this is your will and this is what you want me to do, then I really want to hit this point by this time. And both those times it happened. And so I thought, oh, do I do this again? And I thought, now, Sherri, you're taking advantage of that. You shouldn't do that. But then all of a sudden I realized, you know what? I am fretting about this business of mine. And the reality is, it's not my business. This is God's business. Everything that we have, I've given to him. And I thought, if he wants to rank me up to Senior Ruby by the end of February, then it would happen. And there was such a freedom in that, just like giving it back to God and saying, God, this is your business. You know what would happen if I had this extra money. You know where I would be, what I could do. And, you know, it's all yours. And if you want me to do all that with it, then you just have at it. And so then I was out walking my dog, and I wanted to put a fleece out to the Lord and say, okay, Lord, well, again, if you want me to be Senior Ruby, but you know, and then I thought, nope, that's selfish. I'm not going there. I'm just going to trust with God. All things are possible. And it was just kind of one of those moments when you just pick yourself up by your bootstraps and put on your lipstick and put on your big girl panties and just move on. And I'm so thankful that I have an incredible team above them and beside me. And I'm just, they're hard workers and very encouraging. And we got to a point on Thursday when I just saw it as a miracle. Our team from Thursday to Sunday added 25 people in 4 days. Like, that was just crazy. And I'm like, God, you are doing this. Like, this is you, you know, because I even said to my husband one time, like, you know, this would be really awesome, but this is a big number and this is a lot to ask. I know with God, all things are possible, but this is even a lot to ask. And when that happened, it was like, oh God, you're doing something big here, you know? And so I was just, you know, so thankful that the Lord helped me to regain my focus and just really, you know, stop and, you know, get a fresh focus and a fresh direction and get back on track again. And so with some of this, then once I kind of got myself going again, one of the things that has been a big help to me this past month was Roz had said something about writing your points down every day. And I didn't quite understand, like, I didn't see the purpose of it. And so I wrote a note down and I started working on it. And I thought, well, she's a lot farther ahead than I am. So if she thinks this is a good thing, then she must know something I don't know. And so I started to put my daily points down. Now, I put it on my computer at first, but then I went to this and I just basically put January through December and 1 through 31 on here. I don't know if you can see that. And now every day I go on my virtual office and I just write down my points that I have that day. And this has been so helpful. It's just like totally changed my focus and my goal, and to understand like really where I'm at. This has helped me to own it. It's really helped. I needed a system. I was so unorganized and I just needed some kind of system to get things smooth. I'm self-diagnosed ADHD. And if I have too many things going on, I'm scattered and I can't get anything completed. So I started the system, and I do this for my top runners. I am so blessed. I have, let's see, Kaylee and Cindy are both gold right now, which is like that's just blows my mind. Kim is senior silver, and I have Tiff at silver, and they are just running hard, and we all work so beautifully together. It's like a mom with watching her kids play together, you know, like everybody just gets along so nice, and they all help each other and give you information. And it's just, I'm so proud of my team. I love my team so much. But I had a hard time as I was trying to work things out, where it used to be me that did all of the recruiting of new ambassadors, but then my team started to do that. So I had this transition point that I didn't quite know how to handle, because I wanted to be their greatest cheerleader, which, you know, that I felt that was important. But then there came a point where I was not finding my place in all of this. And it was just, I needed to keep working myself and cheer them on. But one thing that I was finding, that the cheerleader sits on the sideline, and I didn't want to sit on the sideline. I needed to be on the field with my team and, you know, being a leader on the team. So I had to find that balance. And once I did, it just kind of made things a little easier for me. And Pat had said something one time, and I thought it was really good. She said, put your blinders on and put your head down and work like it depends on you, but trust and know that it depends on God. And so that's what I kind of just, again, got refocused and I started to do. And, you know, our team ended up, we had 33 new ambassadors added to our team this month. And I had 7. And it was just an incredible month. And I'm just so thankful and so overwhelmed. Like, I'm crying a lot because I'm still pinching myself. Like, I woke up Monday morning, and as soon as I opened my eyes, I'm like, oh my goodness, I am Senior Ruby. Like, this is crazy. And I can hardly believe it still. But it has just been such an awesome time, an awesome ride. And I'm so thankful for people like Pat and Andrea and Dory, Melissa, Roz, and Michelle. Like, you guys, I'm telling you, I could not pick a better team if I handpicked it myself. The Lord has been so good to me. And I tell everybody that joins our team, you don't know this yet, but you're on the best team Plexus has, because this team rocks. Like, I just love our team. But Pat and I believe we work really good together, partner-wise. And I was saying to her and Andrea today, that Pat and I are like ease and nerve together. Pat's the ease because she's like gentle and she just makes people feel good. And I'm like nerve, and I just tell it like it is and get the job done. But together we're this like powerhouse team, and we work synergistically together. And so,
awesome.
I'm just, I just love having Pat. I mean, she has just been such a blessing to me, and I can't be thankful enough for what I have. But when I think of, you know, I went from silver to ruby in 1 year to the week, and then 4 months to senior ruby. And like, this is just, when people want to start this, like, this is very doable. Like, this is real money. This is like real business. And I've never enjoyed a job as much as I do. Like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, ooh, let's get busy. Like, I can't wait to get to my desk. I can't wait to start doing what I'm doing, because I just absolutely love it. And, you know, when I think of like the financial blessing of this, like, this is life-changing for our family. I've been a stay-at-home homeschool mom for most of our years, just working little part-time, you know, get a couple bucks here and there. But, you know, I don't have a great education. I don't have anything. There's nothing special. And yet just somebody as simple as me can do something like this. Like, this is totally life-changing. And, you know, I love to give. Like, that's just my thrill of my life. And And, you know, when you're making $55,000 a year, do you know how much you can give? Like, do you know what you can do for missions and to help people and to bless your family and to, you know, just to work and being debt free? And, you know, I think about retirement and how this will affect that. And, you know, my husband would like to travel, and all these things have been dreams for years and years and years are now, you know, actually going to be something that can be a reality. And so, you know, it's just a matter of staying focused. And, you know, we're all going to have those days when we get discouraged and we, you know, our people put their subs ahead, and just when you thought you were somewhere and you're not, and they ghost you and all these things. But I was telling my niece, Kaylee, the other day, like, you know, we got to just let that stuff go. Don't waste our energy on that kind of stuff, because that can be very, it can make you weary and make you very tired. And it's like, don't go there, just move on, you know, shake off the dust and pick up, and because somebody needs this and somebody wants this, and we just got to look for the next person, you know. And so it's just kind of like that mindset is just to just keep knowing that we are here for a purpose. And I think for Pat, when she reached out to me, she had no idea that God was using her to be an answer to my prayer. Mm-hmm. And I can't help but think, you know, how many people out there are praying right now, and we can be the answer to their prayer. And so, you know, don't grow weary in well doing, because we have something very big here to offer to people. And it's such a blessing, you know, not only for them, but for us. And like, to see somebody that was struggling and know that you helped them, like, that's just as nice as the money. I mean, truly, it really is. And so, you know, I just encourage everybody, stay focused. Don't go weary on the times when things are slow, you know, just if people aren't answering, then just focus somewhere else, you know, focus on follow up, or focus on, you know, some other area, but always be working. Like, every single day I am at this desk. I try not to pay attention on Sundays. It's hard sometimes, but, you know, 6 days a week, like, if you really want to make this work, you got to put the time in. But if you put the time in, it'll pay off. And one thing that's kind of silly maybe for some people, but when I was gold, I had my eyes on emerald. Like, I just want to be emerald. But I knew I had to get through ruby first. So when I was gold, I bought myself a ring. I got myself a ring that was a ruby, and I wore it every single day. And I thought, when I hit ruby, then I'm going to get an emerald ring. And so that's what I did. And now I am officially moving from my ruby ring to my emerald ring. And I will be wearing this until I go emerald now. And then I am going to put on my sapphire ring, because that'll be my next level. But it's something that I look at every single day. And so I think ruby, 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 senior, you know, and now it's emerald. And like, it's just, I don't know, it just becomes just part of my daily thing. So that's where I'm at right there.
So good. Oh my goodness, y'all. Okay, I want you to go read all the comments, because that's going to make your heart so happy with the encouragement. But y'all, could y'all not just listen to her forever? I mean, that perspective, the way that she even says, hey, I had God in it, but I didn't have God in it. Like, I needed to like get down on my knees and say, okay, like, let me refocus on whose this is, what you've called me to do. So I think that that's incredible. But I did visuals too. I need a new visual as I was watching you do that, but I did the exact same thing. I had a different piece of jewelry that I wore every single day as I moved forward. And it just gave me something to look forward to. So I wanted the couple of things that I wanted you to really hear with her is she put some systems into place. She has a customer care system that she makes sure that she follows up with everyone, that she's checking on everyone. I love what she said about her ownership. When, for whatever reason, and guys, this is so critical, but as soon, in the beginning, she's like, why do I want to know my points every day? And what's the significance? But as soon as it did, do you see what it did to her? She started owning. She said, I owned it. I owned my business. If you will act like a leader, look like a leader, quack like a leader, you will be a leader. And so putting off something because you excuse it away of, I'm ADHD, or I've got a million things going on, or I'm more creative and I don't think like that. If you want this business to do something and you want this business to change your life and your future, you will put on your business hat. And just that one move of a pivot changed her perspective. It also got her excited. It also helped her. All of a sudden, if you'll do one thing, like, you know, there's so many times that you're like, I've been told to do that 100 times and I don't do it. There's a reason you're being told, but it's when you step out and believe that it's going to be helpful, even at the moment you don't think that it's helpful, it actually opens up doors of opportunities that you would never be able to walk through if you hadn't done the one thing. So for a lot of you, just saying, you know what, I'm just not going to time block. I like to go with the flow. I like to see how I feel. Keep doing it. But if you committed to time blocking, because every single successful person in this business has figured out how to do it, you would all of a sudden see that it opens up actually more time for you. Because when you time block, you become very efficient and effective in that time. And all of a sudden you have all this other time to go do other things. But until you do it, then you're going to end every day going, I never did get to my business. I started this morning and 10 hours have gone by and I still haven't done it. Well, maybe it's because you need to believe the successful leaders and learn how to time block, and all of a sudden it opens up other doors of opportunity, right? So I love that she talked about that. She really got those blinders on. I love that she said, I have to stay on the field. I have to be the quarterback of my team, not the cheerleader. I actually want to be receiving the ball some of the times, and I want to throw it. I'm going to be on the field and figure out what's the best. I'm not just going to be cheering from the sidelines. I loved that. And then just the blessing of her saying, you know, I stayed at home, I homeschooled, this is what I did, and this is what it's doing. And oh my goodness, it's allowed us to think about traveling and retiring and the activities that we can do and how we can bless others. And if this makes me feel this way, what other women are out there that would love this feeling that they didn't ever know that they could actually have with this opportunity? So I hope that you're taking all of that in. Every time we train together, every time you hear someone's story, I want you to say, how is that relevant to me and how does that apply to my life? Whenever you're listening, I don't want you to just sit back and listen. I really want you to be an interactive listener, and I want you to be a coachable no matter who's talking. Even in the comments, there's comments over there, guys, that could really encourage you to do just something that would level you up. So I want you to always be seeing that, okay, and thinking through that. We're going to close out, but two things that I want to share with you just really fast is the first one. As I've evaluated over last summer and our really high momentum, and then we went through a lull and we went through all the holidays and we went through inauguration and we went through like re-pivoting and resetting up, and then we moved into 21 and it kind of looked like 20, so we went back into depression. Here we are in March, we're still here. As I've watched and evaluated and thought, and I talked to my jewels and I brainstorm with them and I question and I try to figure out, I'm like, how can I help my people? Like, how can I help? What can we do? What can we do to reset? But one thing that is probably the most simple thing that we could ever do that I think has gone to the wayside, that I want to ask you if you would commit to doing all of March. Would you commit to something for all of March? And that's three-way messages. Okay, so this weekend, and even when we did them last summer, we were pretty heavy. So think about it. I want you, whenever I talk about always evaluating, I want you to think about where you were 5 months ago or last summer when we were blowing it up, right? And I want you to think about where you are today, and I want you to question why. And I want you to say, what was I doing and what am I doing today? What was I doing that maybe I quit doing? Why did I quit doing it? And it might have been forgetful. So even last summer, when we were really heavy on girls' night out or opportunity events or sip and shares, call them whatever you want to call when you were doing those, when we were really strong on locking arms and doing three-way chats, and there were lots of three-way chats. But in the midst of that, some of y'all still didn't do them, but we were very successful. So what I'm going to ask is for the month of March, whether you did them. Some of you guys, honestly, we begged you to do them and you still didn't do them. You had some weird fear. And the only way you overcome fear is to plow through fear. So whatever your fear is, at some point, you do have to believe that if people are asking you to do it that are successful, it's something that's going to unlock some opportunities, just like what I said a few minutes ago. But this is my thing that I would really like for us to focus on in March, and why. As you know, I was with Alita. How many of y'all know Alita Langford? How many of y'all adore Alita Langford? Y'all know. 3 of them went diamond in 1 month. She is now she is, so that was, they did that last May. So, you know, we're what, 8 months, I guess, maybe something like that. She's now diamond, emerald, senior gold. She has 3 legs. Okay, so think about that. Not even a year ago, she hit diamond, and now she's diamond, emerald, and senior gold. She is like multi 6-figure. And I sat down with her over the weekend and just kind of brainstormed with her, and I still have a lot to think through. But she said, Melissa, I am probably the most simple person. I do simple systems. But the thing that continues even today, when everyone went through the holidays and slowed down, everyone went through January and couldn't get themselves going. We hit May, you know, and after May, I'm now diamond, emerald, senior gold. We've never quit doing 3-way chats, ever. We do them every single time. We bring people through so quickly because we build community, we answer questions, we make it simple for our new ambassadors, and we keep moving. And there's something to say in that, because there's some opportunities there that we aren't going to be able to see until we get into a simple system of just getting into a 3-way chat. And I love to see that Lindsay and Kristen have already done that. So I'm going to ask you to think about that, to commit to that. Some of you don't have working upline, so it would be your next upline. Some of you might say, man, I believe in 3-way chats, but I'd really like to do it with my power partner. It's a 3-way chat. So I'm not telling you how to do it. You can be creative. It can be a downline, a sideline, an upline. I'm just asking you to commit to doing it. Commit to opening up those conversations and thinking about that and getting a little bit creative with that. Are you open to that? Is everybody open to that? Okay. I'd love to see, guys, every time I see people on leaderboards, every time I see success stories, we have the most incredible team. I want to see our team on those leaderboards. I want to see our team saying, I do a simple system and this is what I do and I totally believe in it. I've told you for years now that God is using this team and he's building an army and we are plowing forward. We know that, but we need to really, rubber hits the road at some points in our lives where we really have to say, there's some areas I need to pivot. I really need to start living optimally. It's time for me to really get serious. I need to own my business. I need to start checking my numbers. I really need to start doing perk points. I really need to learn customer care. I don't know what it is for you, but for all of you, me just saying that, if you wrote down what your priority for your business is in March, and you might need to adjust it, just listening through this whole training, I want you to go adjust it. I really want you to start being intentional. It doesn't mean you're going to do 8 hours a day. It means in the 1 hour or the 30 minutes or the 3 hours, you're going to be intentional because you know your priorities, you know your goals, and you've done your time blocking and your brain dumping, and you're going to get to work, right? Okay, last thing that I'm going to share is I'm not ready to share it all. 2 things. First of all, I'm going to start doing a mindset coaching group. It's open to anyone. It's going to be coming soon. I thought I was going to launch it next week, but to be honest, my mom gets out of the hospital on Friday, and we were just told today, and so I'm kind of really figuring out what my world's going to look like. She's still not walking, and so I don't know if I can launch it next week. So I'm going to say it's coming soon, and that will be open to anyone that just wants to commit to that type of a coaching group. And then lastly, I am really committed for this quarter. This quarter for me is the next 3 months, not actually. So maybe the second quarter, maybe I can say it that way. Of really honing in on our systems. We have a lot of holes. For whatever reason, a lot of you aren't using our systems, good, bad, indifferent. But I want us to get it down to where it can be used by anyone at any time. A big area that I'm thinking about is customer care. For some reason, we don't do that well because we have a fear. We've talked about it 100 times. And so I'm trying to figure out ways that we can do customer care that it's just you pushing a button. It's just you sending a video so that you can be successful until you can get into a place where you're more comfortable. And the same thing with your new ambassadors. In the beginning, it might freak them out to do customer care because they're trying to figure it out themselves. But if they have something that's a little bit more automated that they can just send and feel comfortable with, then maybe they can see more success. Does that make sense? So I'm really committed in looking at our systems from prospecting to onboarding to customer care to leveling up, to growing our businesses, to what are our obstacles, and do we have something to speak to people that have issues, and building that out. It will be through video, most probably. I'm actually looking at doing some different things that will actually have a team site. But even little things like today, I'll just share this, and I don't mean to go over time, and my greatest apologies. But like today, I did some customer care today. And I actually did you're not gonna be able to see it very well. I did a 60-second audio, and it was for all of my people instead of just sending a text. It was a follow-up. They're on their second month. I ask them just some questions. I ask them how they're feeling. These are the things that should be going on. Hey, tell me what you're feeling. Does it feel good? Like sleep, like energy, like mindset. Do you see anything changing there? I told them how much I cared about them. And then I ended with, hey, I would love, if you feel like that you just need to go through a little bit of a coaching real quick, or you have some questions, ask them here. Or if you want to schedule time, let's schedule time literally in 60 seconds and shot that out. It went so fast, but they got to see my face. And that was the cool piece. I usually text, but today they replied. It's so fun to see your face. Thanks for leaving me such a sweet message. I do have a question. I do want to schedule a call. It's little things like that of trying to figure out, okay, how can I help you get to a place of automating some of those things to where you can send those out and maybe your reply is a little bit better to where you don't have a fear. Does that make sense? So I'm testing some of the different things. I'm working on some different things, but I want you to know that I'm committed to really getting some bugs out. And it might be asking y'all a lot of questions, but it's also going to ask you to commit to doing the system, right? If we do it, to really commit to doing the system so that we can all get to where we want to be. All right, guys, thank you for your time. I hope it was helpful. Love on each other this week, and I'll talk to y'all soon. See y'all later.